And if you have any questions that I can't answer, we'll take notes. I'm ready, and I will get with Chuck on those and get back to you. I have 2 people here you probably already met from the school, 3 people here from the school. Kisha Nichols teaches kindergarten here. You probably already know her on the committee. Elise Buhop is, I have 4 people. Elise Buhop is the counselor here. And she's been going to the meetings, I know. Ann Strobel is a Title I teacher. And Jeremy Kohler is the PE teacher. Anybody? Oh! And Tammy Lynch is our media person, and she's in several buildings. So we're blessed to have her here with us tonight because she's a busy lady. And she asked if I want her, and I said, "Oh, you've been here longer than the rest of us, so she'll know more than all of us."
Chuck's not here tonight?
No, and I'm gonna go ahead and apologize. I was supposed to text him. I did not. I totally forgot. I apologize, and that is my fault. That's why I will have the answers to your committee. I promise. I promise. Because you probably will have questions that he will need to answer, and it is my fault. So what I thought we would do is start with the primary wing, and on our way down, there are a couple things I want you to notice. On the left, we have one public women's restroom. If you don't mind, like kind of filing through it, even the gentleman, please. That was one of the things that when I first came here, I felt was an insult to the people who work here. And I've tried to get it changed, but it is very costly to replace bathroom stalls and tile. The tile is probably okay, but the stalls themselves have been painted and repainted, and they are now rusting. The bottoms are all rusting from the floor being washed so frequently. And every year we ask Chuck to put it in the budget, but it's just not in the budget. It's not a priority. But it's a pretty depressing place, I think. And there are 2 stalls. So this is the only public women's restroom. We have one other rest for the staff. We have one other restroom in the teacher's lounge for the public. And the majority of the staff end up using the children's restrooms at this building. I don't think it's that way in all buildings. And we have about 50 staff members, and we have now maybe 4 males.
Yeah, with pairs.
About 4 males in the building, the remainder are females. So let's take a look in here.
How many students do you have?
384.
Okay, so how many are in the primary room, do you know?
About 140 some.
Thank you.
As we were kind of guesstimating.
In this hallway,
In
yeah.
this hall here. And the next room that you're looking on your right is room 9, and that is the conference room. And that room, I kept the door, I wanted you to feel that, just kind of file through there too. The boiler is down here, and it goes under the building, and the pipes run down under these rooms on the side. That particular room has had a number of leaks beneath it. And really, they go and fix them whenever we tell them a room is steamy. And that is one of the really steamy rooms. I've had staff members who we don't ever have meetings in there because they end up with like a little cough. I mean, and I'm not making this up, I'm dead serious. You'll start the meeting out and there'll be a little, and then before it's over, we have to leave the room. So we just don't even have a lot of meetings in there. They do give us dehumidifiers, which have to be emptied about 3 times a day in that particular space, but the custodians will do that for us. So that's kind of an unusual thing, I would think, but they do come and replace pipes. You'll see more about that in the presentation in there. And there are other rooms along the way where there must be leaks that are way down further. The second last room is now a sensory room because of the number of kindergarten students we have this year. That room is not being used as a classroom. We put what we call sensory things in there. You can take a look in there, the second last one on the end. That is another room that has had issues with mold on the carpeting. And whenever we see any sign of it, it is treated. We've had, the custodial staff has had people come out and check for mold, and we've been okay. But it's been an ongoing concern. Because they do, in the summer when they wash the carpeting, they have to all summer, they run the fans in all the rooms all summer. My first day walking in the building, when I got the job, Dr. Kramer took me in the very back, showed me the rest of the hall back there, and there was mold, as you probably heard at the time, on many carpets. And they had to remove all that carpeting and put tile down. I mean, he was mortified that I walk in these rooms and I see this mold all around the room, but it's because the custodian that year was new, and he didn't know you have to run the fans all summer. So it had been cleaned, you know, and thought it was good, and they left it, and so we were the ones to discover it, and they ended up, you know, putting tile down. And every time they have an opportunity to put tile, they do, but then there is asbestos beneath it. So, like, we try to get the tile removed in the conference room, or the carpeting removed in the conference room, room 9, that I want you to go through. But he said there is tile or asbestos which will need to be abated. So we have to do that when there are students here. And it's a company that is, he told me right now, he just told us in our meeting this week, they're very, very busy, but I'm still crossing my fingers to get that done over Christmas. So we keep pushing, you know. But so the ladies' restroom on the left, first room, the conference room on the right, and then we'll walk down and you can walk through classrooms, and at the very end we'll stop at the doors down there. Does that sound good? Okay, so follow us. You guys are scared, aren't you? Yeah. I can feel it. I can feel it. A lot of concerns about.
Oh, yeah.
Room 9, that's right.
Yeah.
You can just tell when you walk in. Yeah. It's just got a feel about it.
Was this Marcy's room still? Or was
No,
it
no.
a long time ago?
A couple years ago, she was here 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You can feel it out.
Now, what is this room used for? Is this a classroom? Or
It
is
says
this?
conference room, or do they use it for?
They hadn't been able to use it as a conference room because of the humidity issues, air quality issues. Yeah, that's why they got this in here.
They're gonna dehumidifier in here.
When I was in here during the tour, before the levy, the odor was beyond. Really? I actually couldn't, I started to have some coughing issues, even just going through, that's how bad it was. Yeah, no, that room was just awful, just awful.
Just exposing these kids.
Well, young children, you know,
What about
exposed to this.
asthma kids?
Right, exactly.
Kindergarten at first. Kindergarten at the far end.
These are both second grade rooms here. These 2 rooms are both second grade rooms, and then you move into.
What grade is this, kindergarten?
No.
No.
We have to have another second grade in the other hallway.
I am too.
Oh,
I am too.
Really? Because just replaced, when they had to replace that, it finally went all the way.
Why good one?
Time and money, I know.
Maintenance worker who was under there doing it sent to me, and you can see all the years of hatching.
I mean, the whole university is.
So did you replace Lancia? Okay. And where are you from originally?
I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
Right, just say, you want to talk about the thermostats?
Well, just that the thermostats don't work in all the rooms. This room, it does not work. So she controls it by turning the heat off and on over at the vent.
But it's not, it's really hot in here tonight.
It's hot tonight because she's not here to turn it off and on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We have quite a few rooms like that. So they turn it off and on all day.
All right.
You're fine, you're fine. They turn the heat off and on all day.
Have you,
Maintain the right time.
Have you reported that?
What? No.
Hey, what's happening? How you doing? What are you up to? Just cruising around. I see.
All day she does.
Have you
She
filled,
maintains it. Because we've got quite a few where the permits at.
What's wrong with it?
have you filled out a work order on that?
Doesn't work.
Doesn't
Have
work?
you filled out a work order on
Oh,
that?
yeah, we do in all of them. But I don't think they can replace them anymore. I mean,
But you have filled out a work order, right?
we do work orders all the time.
Okay.
The custodial staff does it. I don't fill them out. We could do it, but she does them for me.
So there's, pretty sure there's one on this one?
They're not gonna be replaced anytime. They make them all the
I
time.
don't know, ask that question.
I just
That's
need
a question for Chuck.
Get the thermostat.
Who makes that one? That's just Johnson Controls. Whoopee.
Speed a little bit, but I don't know that it's ready for a bulldozer.
Yeah, I don't do
I don't know whether
the other end of these days. They definitely know. I mean, moisture. I mean, I don't know if that stuff that's fixed. I have no idea.
But don't put that, because they may get in trouble. No. No, but we're really, we are. Small groups, some of you parents know this, that are here, and that's why we have them pulled just outside the classroom door. We don't really have room for these in the room at the same time, so that's something that's different these days. Also, let me see what else I didn't say. This is the furthest from the boiler, so it takes a long time for this end of the building to get warm. The halls are not usually warmed up until Tuesday. They have set plans as to the temperature and when they leave the boiler on and when they don't, trying to be fiscally responsible. But these are the days where it's not too cold that they can, if it's not below, I don't know the numbers, but I think it's 20. They don't leave it on a weekend, so Monday morning at 6 they turn it on, and it takes a long time. The other piece at this end is this is old school in terms of having these glass doors with kids being able to just walk right out or let someone in. We spend a lot of time making sure that children don't let anyone in. These doors obviously automatically lock. We can fob in, outside these doors, but this is not a safe area, but it's just the way it is at this point in time. I think teachers that are here, is there anything else I missed? Primary wing? The heaters, yeah, this end only has boiler, so the heaters are all just inside the doors in the whole building. So in that end of the building, the heater is on the other side of the fire doors. So we have to keep the fire doors shut now, because I don't know, fire code changed since this building was built, but those doors are to remain shut. And they can prop them until children come in the building in the morning. So there, and now you'll see at the far other end too, there are other issues When this building, the other end of the building was built, every door is an auto shut door, you know, on a spring or on a, whatever you call it. And they put props on the doors to keep them open. Now the fire code is no props on fire doors. So they had us remove all of the props on the fire doors. So when the fire department comes through, if we have a door stop in, they take them. And so, teachers have lost some pretty cool door stops. But normally we run through and just close it so they don't have to write us up for it. But to keep the doors shut in the summertime, in the fall, in May, it's really uncomfortable down at that end of the building to keep them shut according to fire code. The only thing around it would be to replace all of the doors in that end of the building. And there are quite a few. They contemplated it, they did, I know he talked about looking into the cost when the fire department decided to follow that code or whenever that came up. Because when this building was built, that's how it was, And it was okay apparently because it must have passed code to get us in that end of the building, I assume. So something changed over the years. So that was the other part, fire propping. Oh, and then you'll see that in that end too, the heaters are outside of the hall. So the halls remain pretty cold through Tuesday. And by Wednesday, we're pretty good to start wearing not wool clothes again. Kids, you'll see in kindergarten, every Monday, they're wearing their coats all day.
What was their answer when you complained about that?
About
The heating issue?
the boilers?
Well, we have no heat on Monday, we have to wait till Tuesday to get.
Oh, the heat's on. Oh, it's on.
Well, no, but what was their solution?
It just takes that long to get here. It's 'cause
So that
that's
was
what
their
this-
answer, just deal with it?
No, it's how this building is designed. Yeah. It's the design.
Do you have to have a licensed boiler operator on site?
No.
Okay, so a lot of old buildings had to have a licensed operator on
Used to
site.
be,
Yeah.
Knew how to use it.
But Chuck is a licensed boiler operator.
Okay.
And I believe we have others in the district who are
Okay.
maintenance guys.
Old boilers.
Yes. I've been in buildings before where we
Right,
did.
you don't have anybody in the building unless there's a boiler.
Right, used to be, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the design of it. So the best thing they do is on really cold weekends, they'll leave it on all weekend for us. Which,
Yeah, well, they probably ought to at least change those thermostats that you showed us.
I wrote that down.
Yeah, so.
yeah.
Has anybody talked about replacing the system?
The heating
And
system,
how much that would cost?
not to
or-
me, but I can ask that question of Chuck.
I think they have other years and it's a lot.
Okay.
Maybe we should get a cost estimate on
You could,
if somebody's done that.
yeah.
If it's a design issue, if that's the way it was designed, has it been a problem since day one then?
People who have been here for 25 years say it's been like this for 25 years, yeah. So we should live.
46 years ago.
Was it like that then?
Not that I recall, but
No.
my memory's not that good.
When you're a kid. The addition wasn't on then,
Yeah,
correct?
there was no
I
addition.
mean, it's twice as big.
Yeah, it's a bigger building. There are actually two boilers, a large one and a small
There
one,
is a hallway that is for that.
that they use. If one goes out, they put the other one on. I do know he does use that.
Yeah, and I think that that's part of maybe raising.
Any other questions? Yes.
They don't have the heat on the weekends or when it's really cold. Do they have problems with pipes freezing then?
No. No, and I want to say it probably is because of the kind of system it is. I don't know, but I can ask that question.
The pipes don't freeze then?
I'll ask Chuck. I've got 4 questions, you guys, you don't have very many. I'm ready.
I heard part of the question, you said no heat on the weekend?
Only when the temperature goes, I think it's 20, I'm not 100% sure of that.
That's what it is.
Is it no heat or is it just a setback mode?
Well-
Because most just go into a setback mode, which means
Yeah.
they reduce the heat. So
I don't know, it's pretty doggone cold in here even.
I don't really know of many schools,
But
if any, that just completely.
Yeah, they
I come in every week and there's no heat.
pretty
There is
cold.
absolutely no
Cold
heat.
air coming out.
see your breath cold.
That's a question.
That's why
Question number
there's
4.
a certain temperature within which they do leave it on.
I think it's 20.
But I'm not sure what it is. Yeah.
Whatever the case is, it's freezing.
And they literally have allowed that to happen for decades?
For as long, yeah, I mean.
Well, I don't, it's been cold on the weekends for as long as I've been here.
As long as I've been here.
It could have been on and it just, maybe it's at a certain temperature and it just feels cold to us.
Anything else? I'm ready.
What's the reason why we're turning off the heat? Just to save money? Is that
Yes.
the reason why? Okay, so if we're shutting this system down, who's firing this system up? What day are they turning the system on?
Monday morning, 6
Monday
a.m.
morning.
6 a.m.
Is there possible they can, start it Sunday evening?
And you know what? I can ask that question.
But it is double time for a custodian to come in and pay and to do it.
How much extra does it cost for the heat to
turn
catch
the
up,
valve.
to catch up though?
Right, yeah, I don't know.
Why have employees and students miserable on a Monday? It makes no sense.
I think she said if they turn it on Monday morning, it doesn't warm up until Wednesday, then you might as well leave it on Friday.
Oh.
Because on Monday, you get a 2-day warm-up period there, so.
And I will tell you, there have been times that she's come in on Sunday when the temperature has dropped over the weekend and it wasn't on Friday. I know she's
On her
come
own
on
time.
her own and not been paid double time. She just comes over and does it. There's a lot of that in this building. But, yeah, because she said, I did come last night, went out, complained.
So with a new building, they'd leave the heat on all the time.
It's on a computer.
Yeah.
It's all managed by a computer.
But a new system in this building wouldn't work?
I don't know if they could put one in with a computer, like they do, because he manages them. He manages the new buildings off-site. He's not doing it at the building. He can do it from home, I think.
Mrs. Staney already said.
It's my fault. I'm apologizing for that.
She forgot to text me and let him know we were here. So we will make sure everybody gets the answers to your questions.
And I have 5 so far. I'm open to more questions. And I know you guys will be meeting again.
Is that part of the tour that we can see the boiler? Is that down that way?
Sure.
The heat, turning off the heat, or is it a night setback, or what is that? Could you explain?
On Fridays.
The heat on the weekends, since I started working there 9 years ago, the heat is always shut off. The boiler maintains internal boiler temperature of 180 degrees. If the outside temperature is 20 degrees or below,
That's right.
the boilers remain on overnight and over the weekend. But if the temperatures are not like that, the boilers do shut down at the end of the day on Friday. Usually I want to say should be around between 6 and 8 o'clock on Friday night. They're turned back on about 5:45 on the following Monday morning. I've changed that temperature due to Kathleen's request to 25 degrees. The reason for the setback is for energy conservation.
Chuck, one of the questions was, we have a lot of rooms with the thermostats that don't work. Are those able to be replaced?
All the thermostats work in the building unless I have not been notified. It's all done on air. It's a pneumatic system. There's going to be a leeway of about 4 degrees. We've noticed there's about 4 degrees difference in some of them. Those just need to be calibrated. But to my knowledge, they all work unless someone would notify me otherwise.
All right. I don't think you've been notified. We're in a room that's about 85 right now.
Well, if I'm notified of the issue, I will definitely address it. It's usually addressed within that day to make sure we don't have uncomfortable people.
Okay. The other question was, have you ever looked into replacing the whole heating system? Is there ever gotten a cost estimate on that, or using a different kind of a system in this building?
It's never been looked at. They've looked at it years and years ago. You can't do anything on the roof due to the flat roof. There's not space down below to do something similar to what Crim did. Other than that, they'd have to go to all new univents, new boilers, and then possibility if cooling was an option, then that's a chiller that sits outside. There are not numbers on it. It is very expensive, but that's something that always can be looked at.
Yeah, another question was about replacing the pipe under the building to minimize the leaks.
There are pipes being replaced. What normally will happen, and it's been the practice from the last, I'm going to say, I have to say probably 20 years, is they would normally repair them, put I want to say a bandage on them to get by if the temperature's cold, because we can't shut down the boilers, the heat in the building for a day if we have students and staff there. If that pipe is really bad, then they do bring in whatever the pipe is, 1, 2, 3-inch pipe, and that section of pipe is replaced. I do know there was about 20 foot of pipe that was replaced this past week in the building. The status of anything additional in there, I don't know. I haven't spoke to the maintenance guy that was there, about anything additional.
Okay. We never have any problem with pipes freezing with turning that heat down on the weekends, do we?
There's never been a frozen pipe in that building.
That's what I didn't think so. What would you say, I just had the question asked, what would you say is the main structural problem with this building?
Structurally, I'm going to say the building probably is in decent condition. The concern I have is naturally there's always water under the building and the moisture, from steam. All the elementaries have had that issue, due to drainage around the building and just all the bedrock in the area. To my knowledge, there hasn't been any foundation cracks. Naturally, I'm not the one that inspects that stuff, but to my knowledge, there's nothing no major structural faults that I'm aware of.
Okay. Any other questions for Chuck while we have him?
Is there an asbestos issue with the pipes? Are the pipes wrapped in asbestos?
Yes, they are. Most everything down there has asbestos on it. Some has fiberglass on it. That does create an issue again. With that, that building also has quite a few rooms that have asbestos tile in them that's underneath the carpet, which is naturally encapsulated because we're not disturbing it, which is still safe. The hallway ceilings are all asbestos in that building.
And Chuck, can I apologize publicly? I was supposed to tell you to come. It's my fault. I'm sorry. It's Kathleen.
I probably could have been there. I have a meeting tonight that I have to be at.
Okay.
If I would have known it well in advance, I probably may have been able to get out of this meeting, but I apologize for that, but I'm willing to answer questions this way if that will help, the group that's there.
Thank you.
I had a question. So what are all of the asbestos issues in the building? And then do you do maintenance on the building as well?
I myself don't do any more maintenance on the building since I took the position of Director of Buildings and Grounds.
Okay.
The asbestos issues in the building, they're really it's not an issue. The only time it becomes an issue, should we replace flooring, that the tile underneath it has to be abated.
Mm-hmm.
The ceilings have not been a problem in there in the hallway. I don't like it in there, but as long as they're not disturbed, they're not drilled into, cut, anything like that, there's no issues whatsoever. The classrooms do not have asbestos in them in the ceilings. Those are just acoustic tile.
But if there would be a remodeling of the interior spaces, then you would have a problem with the asbestos because it would be disturbed. Is that correct?
Well, any type of remodel that would be done in there, I feel you would abate all the asbestos that's in the building. That's the ceilings you would naturally do because of the lighting issue. They're old lights. You get rid of the old lighting, the T8 lights. The tile on underneath the carpet's in poor condition in a lot of the rooms. As money is available, we try to do the rooms that are more of a hazard than others, and we abate the tile then. So really during I want to say a remodel, the asbestos is taken care of through an abatement company, and that's part of the scope of the project.
Another question?
Yeah. We've been talking about these pipes are being rusty. Is there any maintenance issues that we should be doing with the heating system to keep them from rusting?
The best, to answer that, I guess, fairly, the most way I can, I started there 9 years ago. The guy before me when he started, there was no water treatment for the boiler system. He started treatment. That naturally, when you start treatment from pipes that have been old, they're scaling. That creates more issues. You get rid of a lot of scale, but at the same time, the pipes get thinner. We do have chemical control on all the water treatment now for the boilers. So that's done on a monthly basis. It's treated actually boiler controls is the company who is taking care of that now. We really don't do it internally because our custodians in maintenance, they're not water quality experts, and this is something that you got to keep on because if not, you're going to have boiler issues also.
There was a lot of odor coming from the crawl space under the stage and in some of the rooms. Is that due to the moisture content under the building?
Yes, I would have to say it was. I don't know what time of year that was. I would have to say probably about 5-6 years ago. I had put in some exhaust fans for the crawl space to get ventilation to move air through there to help dry it out. And it helps. It's just a large area to try to remove air from. I'm going to have to say any of that odor would have been from any standing water. Like I said, the drainage around the buildings is very, very poor. And it's due to the age of them. The drainage was not designed properly then. I'm not saying that's, the main cause, but when you do have steam leaks, normally the steam leaks are condensate leaks. They're not actual steam leaks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the water coming back to the boilers. With water laying underneath there, though, yes, you can get some odor. And we're trying to, work on that the best we can to get rid of any type of leaks underneath there.
So the only thing you can do really is ventilation. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, for the most part. I mean, in a perfect world, we don't want any water leaking whatsoever. That's what I want to see. But when you have an aging, I want to say, mechanical system, you're going to end up with some leaks. Those crawl spaces aren't crawled every single day. There's not manpower to do that. Once they're down there, they go down there every couple weeks, and as they find stuff, it's noted, and we try to repair the bigger stuff and the stuff that's more for safety first to help with that problem.
Okay.
Thank you, Chuck. Hey, they asked if they could see the boiler room. Is that a safe thing? Am I allowed to do that?
Yes, I don't have any problem with that.
Okay.
When you go down the steps and make sure all the lights are on, the Cleaver Brooks, I might as well make some answers to some questions that are going to come up. The Cleaver Brooks that is there, the first boiler you come to. That boiler is not in operation. That has been shut off due to a internal leak. So for safety, we are not using that. We're using the Well McLean, which is next to it. And that boiler actually works phenomenal. We've had virtually no trouble with that in the last 4 years. Just minor maintenance, and it's maintained very well.
Okay. Yeah, we used both of them my first year, didn't you?
Yeah, and then we noticed we're having a leak, and come to find out what it is, it's going to really almost require a boiler replacement.
Gotcha.
Due to the location and trying to repair what's wrong with it. But that's something that we didn't look at due to everything going on, wanting to know what's going to go on before we spend that kind of money. We don't want to waste money on that.
Okay. Thank you, Chuck. I know you have to go.
Either that or it's getting some circulation. That's not from ambient air temperature.
Yeah, it's probably sharing the same water from this boiler, but the steam valve is down. There's no steam going out there.
changed to 15 degrees. Well, he didn't put the note on there of 25 degrees yet.
No, well, you got it.
I would think.
Don't take the 600 amp panel off.
Yeah. I would think the recovery there would be more expense.
Yeah.
Going to an idle, you know, colder idle temperature instead of shutting it off altogether.
Yeah, leave it down. Leave it down to
I'm not sure you can say that.
Oh, you can.
Now, see, here is what they want to do. They want to have rooms that they can change around for different things. Have larger open spaces. A larger. So, can you tell me about the air quality in this building?
And, I mean, there's not been any formal tests done, but the teachers in the building will tell you that we believe the air quality is absolutely awful. Many people with respiratory issues, allergy, asthma, and things that they don't suffer from all summer long. So it's definitely a big concern.
Well, when I was here on the tour prior to the vote, the odor coming from underneath the stage was awful. I've never smelled that in a building, and I've been in a lot of buildings in my time.
Just 2 weeks ago, when we were doing pictures for the presentation today, we were down there again, and it was exactly the same way.
And there was another room that, I mean, there were several rooms, and one of them was a conference room, and they couldn't use it because some people got sick.
Yes,
that
is still a problem.
The odor was terrible, and I mean, I was in this building for a tour, half hour, 45 minutes or something like that. Later on, during the week, I was coughing, and I thought, I don't cough.
Yeah.
What, was it this or what?
I've never taken allergy medicine my entire life. I take an allergy pill every single day, and if I don't, I pay for it.
Well, that's what I was asking a lot about, air quality.
Yeah.
Of the maintenance, and it was the leaks that were occurring, from the steam underneath, and the ability to, no ventilation to take care of that. And
Right.
So, anyway, that's why I was asking about that.
Yeah.
I was really, when I walked out of here, I thought,
If
I feel so
if I
sorry
had
for
to
the people.
categorize it, I would categorize it as the primary concern.
Okay.
Because she had a student teacher, and her student teacher cannot work in the room together because there's no design space to do that. So she worked in the hallway.
Because now students do a lot of group work.
Right, small group work.
Small group work, individualized, differentiated, so forth. And so you want to divide students up?
Yes.
And even learn how to work in groups, because that's what they're going to do, in their career.
In their futures,
Right.
yes, you would hope.
And the same problem underneath here.
What's the problem underneath?
The same, the pipes.
Well, it's moisture from the steam, and again, at some point they need to get all the carpet out of here. Really.
Right. And he's doing room by room as much as he can.
See, this room gets very little airflow. You got up there.
Well, we keep it closed.
Yeah.
That carpet is the old carpet versus those squares. And so all the ones like that are the ones he's replacing first. And he did as many as he could last summer. They run out of time. They replaced the carpet in here for us.
But this is one of the rooms when I was on the tour, that the odor
Yeah.
was very bad in here. It's good now.
Not too bad.
Oh, well, you can still.
And then this is
no,
the,
it's
this
more-
is the,
But did this have carpet in the first time with the tour? Did they take the carpet out?
no, I've had it out of here since she's
Oh.
been in there. I've had it out. I wouldn't let her go in there. This is the lounge. It's kind of depressing. I had a company that was gonna do it for with free stuff.
How come, you guys don't have a TV in here? Most of them, what do you have, 40 minutes or 30 minutes?
Rest for living to use. But yeah, it's kind of depressing.
It's not like the old days, you can come in here and smoke.
That's our storage, council storage is there. This is PTO storage, storage is here. You know, the storage program here, PTO here.
Where are you going now? Can you get out that way? Oh, you can?
So storage is an issue
Yes.
all over.
Thanks for helping with the tour.